We hunt for treasure, stacking them in piles. Hustling hard, making deals all day. Flipping finds, turning profit our way. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest. Learning tricks to be the best. On eBay, we make our name. Reselling dreams, winning the game. Pure Hustle Podcast guides our quest. Learning tricks to be the best. On eBay, we make our name. Reselling dreams, winning the game. Pure Hustle Podcast.
Welcome to Pure Hustle Podcast. I'm Mike.
And this is Orlando, and we're on episode 459, and this is an update episode.
That's right. We are on an update episode and we are live. So once again, if you are listening to the podcast, you're probably listening to this a little late. We already were live on YouTube. Make sure to come on over, hit the bell notification, subscribe, all the things so that you are not missing when we go live. So we're excited to see all of these people already watching and in the chat. And today, as an update episode, we're going to be talking about what's going on in our life reselling wise, what's going on in the reselling world at large, and then give you those spicy BOLOs, those things that you should be on the lookout for when you're at garage sales, thrift stores, you know, Facebook Marketplace, all the places you're sourcing the sweet deals. So Orlando, man,
Yeah. So
how are things going?
So I think we got to address a few things here. So I guess our new time has moved to Thursday. Are we doing this permanently, Mike?
I mean, it seems to be working for now. Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, just a heads up. You know, we did have a hiccup, like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. We didn't drop an episode. First time in like not 2 years. First time in
Ever.
8 years.
Yep.
Ever? I'm pretty sure there was 1 week, like maybe a
No.
Christmas week.
Nope.
No, there's one
There's
week.
always
There has
nope.
to be.
Nope. Find it for me. Find it for me,
Okay.
Orlando.
I'm not gonna look. But so we're gonna be dropping episodes now on Thursdays, just because Mike and our schedules have been kind of crazy, and we want to make sure we drop every week. So we're gonna do it on Thursdays. Oh man, okay. So hey, got to shout out to people here. Patrick says, "Good evening, all. How are you?" The Disgruntled Octopus says, "Morning, humans." Estelle saying hi. What's going on? Rhythm J says, "No, my daughter has swim class on Thursdays," and so. Yeah, well, hey, you know what, Rhythm J, the beauty of this is you can just put some headphones on, I guess, or no, you know, we'll be here. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's just, that's how it's going to be for now. So just give me a heads up. And what's going on, Mary McQuain? It's been a long time since we chatted. So glad you are here. You gotta love how organic this is. You saw my son in the background grab something real quick. So it goes, all right, hey, so let's talk about a few things here, like update episode. Mike, how are things going for you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Really, sales have been pretty consistent. Haven't had a huge surplus or decrease. I kind of tweaked my back the other day, so I haven't listed quite as much in the last several days, which might be part of the reason why my store is not quite where I'd like it to be. I mean, it's been consistent. It just hasn't grown. Like, I've been working on having this growth all year long. And so, you know, when you have some kind of injury, you're not full force. And there really is something to the eBay algorithm. You know, when you're listing consistently, those sales tend to tick up, and newer items that you list tend to sell quicker than anything else. So the more of those you have, the higher chance you're going to have items moving. But things have been pretty good overall. It's been, you know, I would say a normal summer for me, which, you know, is not too bad. I know summertime is one of those times where sales can kind of dip, but my store has been pretty consistent, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, I mean, overall, the only thing I've really did differently this week. So remember last week when we did our hustles of the week, one of the hustles we talked about was a gentleman went to pawn shops, and he was talking about how pawn shops are actually a pretty decent place to source if you're willing to be patient, because of course pawn shops are trying to get top dollar for things. However, they also have a limited amount of space, just like us, right? Like we have a limited amount of inventory space. And so they can't hold on to things forever. And if things aren't selling after a certain period of time, they begin to mark them down, and they continue to mark them down until they go. So I was kind of inspired by that and went and checked out a couple of pawn shops, because really I've only been to pawn shops a handful of times since becoming a reseller and haven't really done well at them. But I did kind of catch on to what this guy was saying when it comes to certain items do go on sale, right? And you can tell they've got the, marked off items. I've only been into a couple of them, so I don't have the store figured out yet of like how often are they marking them down? How long does something sit before it goes to 25, 50, 75% off? But I am seeing these stickers. The thing I just don't, I guess it's probably dependent. Every pawn shop is going to be different. Some are independently owned, some are more like chains. I just don't understand how they make the money they're making, because a lot of the items I'm looking at, when they're trying to get item at full price, when it isn't on the 50% off or 75% off sale, it's like eBay prices are higher, which I understand if it's like, hey, we've got basically an eBay store, we're buying items for cheap and then we're selling them for eBay prices. Maybe we have to lower the price a little bit more than we wanted to. But I just wonder, like, is it just the clientele who's going in to purchase items typically at a pawn shop, people who aren't checking eBay for items? Because it's like, okay, here's a power drill, and this power drill, they want $45 for it. All right, it's a decent power drill, but if I go on eBay, I could pick this power drill up for $35.
Yeah.
So like, who is it that's going to these pawn shops? And clearly these pawn shops stay open. And I know one of the ways they make most of their money is through people pawning their items to them and then basically getting the item back. So they're taking a loan on the item and then they're paying interest on it to get those items back. And so it's not like they're just buying the items outright, but they do have to, when they're making those loans and people are pawning those items and not selling them, they have to be figuring, I've got to be able to sell it for X amount. And people have to be coming in and paying those prices that they're asking for. Otherwise, how are they staying open? Unless they just don't make very much money on that storefront part of their business anyways. And that's kind of like a last resort for them, just to recoup some of the money that they didn't get off the loan that they took. So I'm a little bit interested to see, if anything comes of it. There are a couple of items I got my eye on already. I'm going to see if those prices come down. I wouldn't say there was like a huge weakness at this pawn shop. It was almost like shocking. Like, okay, here's how you can go into a Walmart and get the arcade games, like they're like full cabinet size and they've got like certain arcade games in them. Yeah, and you pay like, I don't know, they're probably like $300 or $400 for it.
Yeah, they have them at Costco too. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So those aren't like anything super special. Well, they've got one sitting at the pawn shop and they're asking $400 for it. And I'm like, this is like, I can go get a new one for $400. I mean, I haven't checked the price, but I would expect like I'm going to be able to pick this thing up for half the price that I'd be picking up for new. And that's just not the case. So, but clearly they're selling items. Items are moving at pawn shops. So it might be people who just, they're not shopping on eBay. They're not aware of eBay prices. And so they think that they're getting a pretty good deal, because on a lot of items, they are getting cheaper. Like, hey, I need a power drill. I can go pay $200 at Home Depot, or I can get this one for $60, even though that $60 one would only be $50 or $45 on eBay. So I don't know. I guess if you need something right away, it's just servicing a different clientele. But I'm interested to learn a little bit more, because I mean, we know, Craigslist Hunter, he's got a pawn shop. So I'm wondering if the primary way pawn shops are making money isn't from the storefront sales, but is just from the interest they're making off the loans, and those storefront sales are just like recoup cost. But then at that point, I don't understand why the items aren't cheaper. Get more people in there,
No, it's funny that right here at the show, Vid says, "Don't bother silver and gold in Las Vegas." A good old. So you don't want to run into Chum Lee or Rick or any of those guys. Like, I've had people go out there. I mean, obviously it's all set up and you wait, but yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things. Whenever I watch those shows and like they bring in stuff, like I guess you get quick money, but man, you get lowballed like crazy, right, all the time.
Well, and that's when they're selling things, though, right? Like, because again, I think because the way pawn shops work is people can pawn things or they can sell them. When you pawn something, you're basically just getting a loan. Like, here's a $200 guitar. They're going to give me $75 today, and I have to pay them $100 by the end of the week, and then I get my guitar back. And if I don't pay them the $100 by the end of the week, then they keep my guitar, and all I got out of it was $75, right? So, and then they're hoping to sell it for $150 or $200. But I'm assuming most people are paying those pawn prices and getting their items back. They're collecting them back, and the store is just making those interest, basically the loan shark style interest.
Loan shark style. You know what? It's all a business, okay? It's just all business, right? People make choices. That's all I'm saying. So okay, all right, man. That's a interesting update. So I my update. So it's kind of weird. Those of you that are listening, I used to be full time, like 8 years of full time, grinding every day, and it's interesting because now I'm not grinding every day, and I gotta tell you, it feels weird. It really does, and sometimes I see the stuff I picked up, right? Because I still have, I don't know, let's say I got 500 to 1,000 items I don't have listed still, right? Which is kind of sad, right? I have death totes. I don't have death piles. I have death totes of stuff. Hold on. At the show, it says, nope, just Anton the Bouncer, and that was a decade ago. Oh, I remember Anton the Bouncer. That guy was hilarious. Those of you that watch Pawn Stars. Anyways, okay, going back to what I was talking about. So whenever there's an opportunity to source, like, I take it, right? Because I don't feel the need to source all the time, but I couldn't avoid it this Saturday because when I walk outside the house, and remember, I live in the city now, so I'm not like in the country where I was back in San Diego, where like, remember Mike? Like it was like 30 minutes before I hit like any place I could actually garage sale. So I walk outside my door, and where's the block garage sale happening? On my block. I didn't even know it was happening. So I go across the street, and I couldn't help it, but I ended up sourcing. And so I go, and they had all these vintage Thomas the Train and vintage Pixar car stuff, and it was in a backpack full, and I'm like, God, just can't get away from the negotiating part, right? So these are my neighbors, by the way. These are good people. These are people that help me out. Like, do I try to negotiate? And I knew, like, if I picked up the stuff, like, I was gonna make a killing, like, and so I was probably gonna make $300 to $400 on it. So I'm like, all right, how much do you want for all the Thomas stuff and all the Pixar car stuff? And the guy's like, the son's like $25. I'm like, now I didn't do my normal, like, can you go any lower? Can we work on that? I just said, how about $20? And they're like, sure, no problem, which was a steal. But you know what? I had a soul. And so I said, you know what? We're neighbors. I'll give you the full 25. And I paid him the full 25. That is the first on Pure Hustle podcast history. I don't think I've ever done that.
Do you feel good? Does that feel good?
I don't know if I felt good. I just was like, I didn't feel right. Like, these are people I work with, not work with, but people that, live across the street from me and watch out for my house and, help me out. So that was good. So that was a good pickup. And again, this is not a BOLO section, but I'm telling you, like, those Thomas things, I just sold a Thomas the Train, a little car, a little like a Thomas car. Wood was like sanded down, like it was worn out. $36 plus shipping. Paid like 10 cents, right? And I've sold hundreds. I mean, I've made thousands. And, does it feel a little weird as, a grown man in his 40s sourcing Thomas the Train stuff? Just a little bit. But you know what? Money is money. So it is what it is, right? Helps pay my kids' tuition, okay? And then I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go down the block some more. I go down the block. What is the first thing we ever picked up on this show, Mike? What was the first thing you picked up?
What, like a duck decoy?
Duck decoy. So I'm looking around. There's a duck decoy. It's worth $200. And this was wild. This was like limited edition. It had a signature on the bottom of the duck. It had certificate authentication. It had authentication. It had a bag that you put it in. It was complete. I've never seen a duck decoy this well put together from 1980. And again, I was like, hey, how much do you want for this? And they're like, $30. I'm like, you know what? I got to be at 20. I can't do any more. And they're like, can you do 25? I was like, nah, I'm okay. But I live right up the street. Like, if you still want to sell it, I'm right there. And they're like, all right, fine. We'll do $20. I gotta tell you, it felt good. Negotiation, like, it just feels good, right? Because what do you got to say, Mike?
I feel like when you're already at 10x money, like, that's when you don't need to negotiate down. Like, it almost just feels like you're I mean, I get like that's a $5 difference, but like, I mean, I don't know. That's probably where, I mean, if they would have came in, if you could sell it for $200 and they came in at I don't know, 150, that's when you might be like, well, the most I could do is 100 because I need to be able to make a profit on this, still make $100. But when they're coming in at 25, come on, man, or 30, jeez, you're killing me.
But remember that $10 now, right? I can turn and buy more stuff, right? Which will create more profit, right? Every dollar counts. Let us know in the chat. Chat, is Orlando too much of a capitalist? Is he too much of a lowballer? Like, I want to know. I can take the hits. I've taken the hits for the last 8-9 years. And by the way, this is an interactive live episode. So if you have any questions, anything you want to share, please let us know in the chat. So that was good. That was good. I still enjoy, like, I got to tell you, Doug Decoys. Yes, somebody Goliath says yes, he is. You know what? That's fine. I'm great. Here's what's funny. I may be, but I tell you, I carry this. Like, now as a school administrator, and when I'm looking at my budget lines, I negotiate. Like, every vendor that comes in, I negotiate, and I'm proud of the negotiation, because you know what? Every dollar counts, even in education, right? Because that's another dollar I can put towards another teacher. That's still another dollar that I can put towards helping kids. So in the end, I don't mind being a hard-nosed negotiator. So, hey, thank you, Big Through Philly. Thank you for saying that I'm still a good guy, though. I appreciate with the laughing emoji, but I will take it. I will take that. Thank you, Mike. Seems like you got plenty to say over there.
No, I mean, you're a good guy. You're a good guy for sure. I would never say you're not, but it's just like, there's something about the, like, if they would have said $1 for it, you would have said 50 cents instead of just being like, yep, it just cracks me up. We're different in that way, and that's fine.
Well, anyway, so I picked up those items. I haven't listed them, but I will be listing those items soon. And then my sales just have been good. Like, I want to encourage people, a lot of people called me out. Like, when I went from full-time to part-time, people are like, oh, you couldn't make it financially. Oh, no, none of that was true. Like, I was doing really well. I had a nice place I was living in. I mean, Mike's been in my place multiple times. Like, it was a great property. Like, things were good. And so it wasn't that. It was just like, I felt that I was called to do something else. But I still love reselling. And I want to encourage everyone, like, if you're a part-time reseller, keep doing what you're doing, because it helps a ton. It can help pay your bills. It can help, if you want to do date nights with your significant other. It can help if you're like right now, I love watches, so I like buying watches, right? And so my eBay money will go to buying watches. Like, whatever you enjoy doing, like, eBay gives you that freedom. So don't give up. And again, don't listen to people. Like, it's funny because the other day there had been somebody I was trying to show how to resell, and I could tell, like, they were not like into it. Like, in the beginning they were into it. Like, I showed them how to source. I showed them what to look for. I showed them how to do the eBay sales. I mean, I could have charged thousands of dollars here, okay? Because, pure hustle. Like, we don't do those private calls, right? But I showed them everything, and then I sent them videos how to list, and they did none of it. None of it. Like, I could tell, like, they were not going to do it, right? But then the other day, I had mentioned, like, some big sale. I sold, like, something for $200 or whatever that I paid, like, $20 for. And, like, oh, you're still doing that? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, why would I stop reselling, right? But if I can make a few thousand a month on reselling, like, to me, it's not easy, but the barrier, right, isn't that tough to get through, right, to make it happen. So I encourage people, keep sourcing, keep selling, keep going with it, because in the end, like, it's just worth it. It's just worth it. Okay. At the show vids wanted to talk to me. It was the cost of priority flat shipping. So I did see the comment on the last video that, like, I'm losing money by charging flat rate shipping. Maybe I do like flat rate shipping for two reasons. Number one, the boxes, like, I don't pay for any of the boxes. Number two, I don't think it slowed my sales down. And I charge the buyer. So to me, it's not a big deal. But you might be right. At the show vids, I may be losing sales because people want to pay less for shipping.
It's expensive shipping for sure.
It really, it's kind of crazy. It really is. Like, medium flat rate's like $15 now. It's like even more sometimes. I don't know what it is, but and we're gonna talk about shipping here a little bit.
Free
later.
box that you're paying $15 for.
I'm not, though. The buyer's paying.
Yeah, but if the buyer was willing to pay an extra $15 for the item and you could ship it for half the price, you could just tack that on. I mean, if you're willing to negotiate for $5, like, you could. Okay. You could charge less for shipping and more for the item and have $5 in your pocket.
True. All right. Well, You know what? We're learning. We're all learning. Okay. So at the show vids, got a good laugh about that. I appreciate that. So okay. So yeah, that is. I don't have like a huge update. That's just kind of it. Just that's reselling. I will tell you though. Oh, here's the other thing I wanted to share about. And again, I tell this like as an educator, a whole new world of reselling. Because do you remember what was one of my biggest scores when we were working at the school? Do you remember at all? Like it wasn't like a garage sale. Like I picked up a bunch of dual deck like DVD VCR players.
Oh,
Do you
yeah,
remember where
yeah,
I picked them up from?
Yeah, from closing school.
Yeah. So again, I have another opportunity here. So I'm gonna go pick up a bunch of furniture from my school. I'm gonna pick up a bunch of goods, and then like whatever we don't use, guess what? We may open a secondary business. Like we may have another stream of income to help the school out, right? And so again, applying like these eBay things that we learn, like don't get it twisted, everyone. Like you learn all this stuff, you can apply it to other parts of your life, right? So what I end up doing now is, I'm gonna pick up all this equipment and whatever we don't end up using in the classrooms or at the school, we're gonna end up selling, and it's gonna go into possibly like a scholarship fund. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with it. It may go to operating costs. I'm not really sure, but in the end, like it's another stream, right, to help our school. So, anyways, just things to think about. It is wild. Like, I recommend anybody, like, if you're in a place like that, schools are shutting down businesses. There is so much out there. It is crazy. Like places just straight up shut down and just leave stuff. If you know somebody that does construction management, that's another way that I've been able to pick up a ton of stuff.
Yep.
So
yeah, my wife's husband, or not my wife, that my wife's husband is me. My mom's husband is construction worker. He's like a manager for facilities that put up like big retail companies. And yeah, when they're done with a job, they buy stuff just for that job, right? Like so they buy like a generator for that job. They buy like scaffolding for that job. They buy all kinds of stuff to do this job. And then when they're done with that job, they tend to just like leave it, trash it, whatever. Someone can come pick it up. People, the construction workers, take it home, and then they go to a new job and then they buy all the stuff again, right? It's easier for them than trying to like pack it all down and take stuff cross country. So anyways, yeah, at his house, he's got like scaffolding and all kinds of like siding and a big giant like corporate size generator and all kinds of stuff that just that construction sites are like, when they're done with the stuff, they're done with it, right? So yeah, you can definitely make money on that stuff if you've got the connections for sure.
So, anyways, there's so much to source. There's just so much to source. Again, if you're not finding items, just keep going. Like keep searching, keep looking. So, all right. Hey, before we keep moving on, you might be stressed. Like I'm slowly beginning to stress. It's the end of July. Tax season for me is happening in October because I delayed my taxes. But you know what? Why I'm at ease is because of My Reseller Genie. My Reseller Genie is software made by resellers for resellers. And if you use our code Pure Hustle, you'll get 15% off the first month. If you're wondering what My Reseller Genie is, it's bookkeeping software. It'll import everything from eBay, import everything from Poshmark, and then what it'll do is it'll take all that information. It'll provide you all the information you need for your taxes, so you can just give it to whoever's preparing your taxes. You'll be able to get a Schedule C. You'll be able to get a P&L, all the things that matter. So check out My Reseller Genie. Use our code Pure Hustle, and you'll be able to, make some, not make some money, but keep some of your money because you got things well documented. All right, Mike, are we ready for the next component of our show here? Random stories,
also known as random stories.
Yeah, I know. I thought we had some. All right, what do you got for random stories?
We've never had a random story soundbite, but
maybe we need to. If anybody wants to send one to us, send it to us.
All right. So, yeah, this one is pretty interesting. So a couple of weeks ago, I went on a conference for work. I was presenting something for the state, and I went with some people from my district, and we stopped at a lunch. And of course, the get to know you stuff, people are talking. And one of the ladies there who actually works in my district, she knows that I do the podcast. And so when we got in the rental car, she was the one that picked it up. She actually had our podcast, the podcast playing. And so like kind of embarrassed me because like everyone gets in the car and then like we start driving and then Pure Hustle podcast is playing. So it's kind of a funny, experience with that. But when we were at lunch, we started talking about reselling, and one of the things that came up were Legos. One of the ladies had a ton of Legos that she was trying to get rid of and had already like given away. And she had them up on Facebook Marketplace. And so it starts there where I'm like, oh man, I think I saw your listing, because she's describing the listing. And she was asking money for it, but then she eventually just gave all the Legos away. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I didn't reach out to this person, not knowing, like, I didn't like double check who it was or anything. I just, saw it up there. And I'm like, I didn't reach out because I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a little bit too much. But had I have reached out, even if I'd have gotten the no, right? Had I reached out with a little bit lower of an offer, something that would have actually been profitable to me, I probably could have got them, right? So you never know, like, who is wanting to just like get rid of stuff, just offload things, and not, they're asking a price because they think they, know what they can get for it, and they might be asking too much. So you can come in with a reasonable offer, and there's a good chance that if they're just like when you're at a garage sale, and one of the first things people say is, yeah, whatever doesn't sell is going to the Goodwill. Well, that's your sign right there that you've got a lot of room for negotiation. So that was the first part. And then we started talking about, okay, well, what are some like of your stories? And so I tell the story of going to the Goodwill bins and being at like one end of the Goodwill bins and seeing on the very opposite corner of the building, one of the workers walking out with that taxidermy bobcat, right? And she's walking with the taxidermy bobcat. So I beeline over there as fast as I can. And a lady cuts me off and says, how much? And the worker says, I don't know, $8. And this was like, I don't know, I can't remember what the price was. I looked up some of the prices, and they were anywhere from like $800 to $1,500 for these like nice taxidermy, because it was like the whole scene, right? It had like the bird and all the stuff, whatever. And so I'm thinking to myself, I should have just yelled across the Goodwill bins, like, I want that, how much? Lesson learned. So anyways, I'm telling that story, and you can see one of the other ladies at the table, her face just drops, and she goes, I think that was my father-in-law's bobcat. And I was like, really? And everyone's like kind of laughing and joking. She's like, yeah, we just took it to Goodwill because we didn't think it was worth anything. And then so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this was like a double, like for me, it was a loss because I didn't get it. Somebody else snagged it. But then she's hearing the story, which was just me telling a story of my loss. And then it's like her getting a gut punch of, you actually had something that was really, really valuable that you gave away. So it was just like the most, like, it was entertaining. It was an entertaining experience for all of us at the table. But at the same time, it was like, oh man, I feel so bad. Like, what an awkward moment to hear, like, hey, I gave this thing away and it was worth a ton of money and I didn't know that. Just like when we buy things from people and they make a comment like, I don't want to know how much you sell it for. It was kind of like that. So we both got the gut punch on that one.
You got random story. Oh, go ahead. What?
I was gonna say, like, I live in a small town. Like, I mean, it's a decent sized town, but it's not like a huge city. So it's like the chances that was the one she donated is pretty high. You know what I mean? So it wasn't just like, because if it was San Diego, it'd be like, well, you never know, right? Or LA or some big city. But this is like, a small enough town where it's like, yeah, that was probably his. I'm sorry.
All right. So yeah, so I don't have any story like that at all. But here's the difficulty I'm running into now. So back in the day, and this is kind of not like random story, but I've had run-ins in the last few weeks of like people that know me now because I work at a school and there's like, hundreds of people. And I do have a position where like public persona is very important, right? Like, I don't want to come off cheap. I don't want to come off like,
so do you still source in like basketball shorts and like a
no, I still do that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
More,
with a little bit with some ketchup stain on your shirt.
Some ketchup. Yeah. Right. My beard's all over the place. Hey, yeah, of course, you got to play the game. But the question now is like, oh, you even said my last name on the podcast. We haven't had that one in the first time. So anyways, although you catching live, that's a first in 459 episodes. But the interesting thing is now it's like, okay, like how much do I lowball, right? Like how much do I negotiate, right? Or do I source an hour away, right? Like what do I do? That's my struggle, right? Because in the end, like it is all business, but perception is important. So I don't know. Let me know in the chat. Like, should Orlando continue doing what he's doing, or does his negotiations need to change? Right? Do different things need to begin happening? So I don't know. That's been the thing lately. Because I've been out thrifting. They're like, oh hey, like what are you doing here? Like it seems weird because normally I would have like, I'm dressed really formal. Like I don't, and people see me in a different light, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, sell on eBay. Like I don't know. It's interesting, but I shared with you before too that I've gone to like these administrator things, and there's like other like I would tell you like people that work at really bougie schools, like we're talking about like really nice schools, and they just love reselling, right? Shout out to Barrett out there, one of the guys I ran into that actually him and his father, who's a school administrator, listened to the podcast with another one of my friends, and now they're resellers and they listen to our podcast. So shout out to them. But anyways, just something to think about. I don't know. Like, does it matter? Like, I mean, it doesn't matter to Gary Vee, but that's Gary Vee's like that's what he does, right? He's still doing trash talk videos.
For real?
Like maybe we haven't reviewed one in a long time. You think it's time?
Let's do a live reveal, man.
You want to do a live review?
Yeah.
Let us know in the chat. Should we do a live review? Give us a thumbs up. Is it worth our time? So,
I feel like we would make a lot more money on the podcast if we did the like where we bashed. You know what I mean? Because we're always pretty positive about things. But if we just like we're like, here is a fake reseller. Not that Gary Vee is fake, but he's fake in some ways. You know what I mean? Like here's where he's wrong. Yeah. But like, yeah, if we were like actually legit, we could clickbait some stuff and be like really show like here's the guys on YouTube you should not be following. Like they said this is garbage. Now the reason why we haven't done something like that is it's kind of a low blow to try and get your traction off of other people's name. And two, we're a small enough account on YouTube that, we could be bombarded with their crazy trolls, their fanatics.
I would love that because that would just give us
you?
traction. Yeah, it would give us traction on YouTube. We'll probably hit our 10,000 followers if we did that. So, all right, you know what? I'm gonna find one of the latest trash talks. I'm gonna edit it, and we're gonna do it. I know people want store reviews. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we got to do one of those. Maybe I don't know. Did we do one? I think we might have done.
Maybe we should, if we're gonna do something like that. Maybe we should do it where maybe we start it on our Discord, and it's just people in our Discord. So like we'll do like private videos where other people on the Discord can watch. But if people on our Discord want to have their store reviewed, we could look at it. Other people in the store with expertise can look at it. And if those are successful, then maybe we move to just like open onto YouTube where people can ask, like, hey, review my store, that type of a thing. But if we do it more on a private level, I think that we can give more specific advice to individuals that we know. Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea for sure.
Yeah, and here's the bottom line. Like, and I'm just gonna throw out our Discord. Like, there are people on our Discord that are far better than Mike and I at this. Like, I like leagues ahead. Like I would say,
we're just good at talking.
Yeah, we're just.
I mean, we're decent. We're good at reselling.
We know how to resell. We know how to resell. But
they're reselling like experts, especially in like certain niches that we just don't know how to even touch. But yeah, our skill is being able to talk about it. So it's the combination of the two together that's unique.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw it out there. Hey, if you ever want to jump into our Discord, the pathway is through Patreon. If you want to join our Patreon, it's $5.55 a month, which is crazy cheap. Like right now, I get McDonald's breakfast every single day, except I think maybe Sunday, right? And
what do you? I can tell that you've lost weight. You're getting the healthy option though at McDonald's.
No. So I grab a steak and egg biscuit, and I have a buy one get one free, and then I don't eat the biscuit. I just eat the steak and egg. So you know what? It works out. You know? Right. So, but yeah, I mean, it's fun. Like I could get membership to the Discord like in 2 or 3 weeks for an entire year based on how much I'm paying. Not even, maybe in 2 weeks. So if you want to come on over, join us, go to the link below, patreon.com/Pure Hustle Podcast for $5.55 a month. You can jump on over and we'll invite you to the Discord. Pure Hustle community is thriving. We got all kinds of resellers in there. We got Amazon arbitrage, eBay arbitrage. We have, individuals that do vintage books, vintage toys. I mean, you name it, like everything. And we have all kinds of threads in there. And the beauty of it, I don't know how people feel about this, but it's not dependent on Mike and I. Like Mike and I, we show up and we talk and we engage, but so does everybody else. And I think that's what makes a valuable community, right? That's community, right? It's not this like, oh, we're waiting for Orlando and Mike to do like, some intro on there. I love the community and all the expertise that's in there. So check us out. And by the way, if you're on social media, we are Pure Hustle Podcast on all platforms, and we are Pure Hustle Cast on X. And also shoot us an email if you got a hustle of the week or something you want to share or just a question. Go to purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. That's purehustlepodcast@gmail.com. By the way, Mike, we still got to do our live call-in show. We still haven't done that. So
Yeah, we need to do that. Speaking of calling, do we have our phone number? Is that still
no, not
legit?
yet. No, we're coming back. We're coming back. Okay.
All right.
All right. Sorry.
Pay
and
that
then,
bill.
And then,
Come on over to Discord and join. We got to pay our phone bill, man.
All right. And then, hey, appreciate all of you that watch us on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, you haven't come on over, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and hit that bell notification. And as always, grateful for all the iTunes reviews. We are the largest secondary reselling podcast out there, and we are the most reviewed secondary reselling podcast out there. And it's because of all of you and your support. Shout out here to Casa Fox. Thrift and Flipping says, thanks for all the content and tip, guys. Been reselling for 4 to 5 years so far and have had great wins with one of your BOLOs, vintage little tykes. And, let me just throw what that is. Vintage little tykes, 2 things. The big football, like the big toy chest football thing. Like you can pick those up for like $2-3 at a garage sale, flip it for like 100 or so. And then the Christmas trees, like the Step 2 Christmas trees. Like if you can get those, like people want those around the Christmas season. So I thought since, Casa Fox gave us a shout out, I'll shout out some extra BOLOs. All right. So thank you, everyone. Okay. All right. So, hey, I think it's time for us to talk about some reseller topics, not news topics.
This is a fight that is just ongoing. So
Since the very beginning.
Here comes the news. eBay removes sold via promoted listings. eBay shipping costing more than pirate ship, and most designer stuff on platforms are fake. All this and more on Reseller News. Orlando, take it away.
All right. So I got to give prop to whatever this website is that's come up. So, I would say e-commerce bites has a lot of reselling stuff. And there's also, I don't know, it's called eBay Cafe or it's something like, I forget what it's called, but there's some good info. But then there's this new one called Value Added Resource, the e-commerce marketplace news and analysis and commentary. And so they have all these different things. And I was reading a lot of stuff here and I'm like props to them. Good for them. Right. We talk about reseller topics. And so I thought this was interesting because I do think for all intentions, I don't know what eBay's doing, but eBay seems to just keep going down this promoted listings route. And I don't want to say they're being shady, but I will say that they are definitely, I don't know why they do these things. For example, right, when they first started promoted listings, it was just like, hey, you can pay a certain amount for each item at whatever percentage. Then they introduced the dynamic ad rate, right? And then the dynamic ad rate meant that they will match it to whatever the market is, but then they don't give you any analytics to know okay, is it match me because really what the market is, or is eBay just arbitrarily picking some number, right? And I've always said that, and I even mentioned to them at one of the eBay promoted listing things, and they're like, trust me, bro. That's not what they said, but that's pretty much what it sounded like. And I'm like, what? You want me just to trust? I that's not business. And then they went down the road that it used to be if your item sold via promoted listings, it's because somebody clicked on it and they purchased it. And then it went to, if anybody at some point in time clicked on your promoted listing, it doesn't matter how it was purchased, we will make it promoted listings. So you end up having to pay the fee, which to me, that was crossing the line. That was a boundary. I don't know why eBay did that. So now, this is according to Value Added Resource, says eBay further erodes ad fee transparency, removes sold via promoted listings from order overview page. Sellers are up in arms about eBay's latest move to erode ad fee transparency, as sold via promoted listings note is removed from orders overview in the seller hub. So previously you would be able to see it, right? But now eBay has removed the note from the overview page, forcing sellers to click into each individual order, download reports, or look at payment records in order to see if the sale was attributed to promoted listings.
This is bad for a couple of reasons. One reason it's bad is if you do what I've mentioned multiple times, which is really tracking your data, because data doesn't lie. Right. Mm-hmm. You can lie in a lot of ways. You can make yourself feel better. You can maybe manipulate the data to look a certain way. But if you really want to know the truth, data doesn't lie. And so if you're trying to figure out how much of my store is selling, in what niche, how much am I spending on shipping, those are all valuable data pieces. So if you remove the ability to quickly and easily see how much of my sales are coming via promoted listings, then you're kind of really in the dark of like, is this worth it for me? How much am I paying on promoted listings? What niches should I be on promoted listings? So it does kind of stink that they're, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's just making it harder to determine what is realistically coming off promoted listings. And maybe it's because they don't want you to see that big number, right? Like maybe they don't want you to see like, hey, I paid X amount in promoted listings this month, and maybe make people think like this is a lot of money that could be in my pocket. But that's valuable information. Like I want to be able to see that information.
Yeah, of course. Like you want to know. I don't know why does eBay do what it does sometimes? I don't know. It's just shocking to me because it's an easy one. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is also from the same website, so hopefully it's not fake news. But this one they're talking about like there was a new USPS rates that came in effect. It ended up causing some people more on priority shipping, right? So people have to be careful with that. Thanks. Hey, by the way, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, thumbs up. If you haven't thumbs up on Facebook, you haven't thumbs up on YouTube, please do so. Greatly appreciate that. It says the eBay sellers say shipping costs are higher than they should be after July 2025 USPS rate hike, and a new irregular packaging fee may be to blame. Sellers have been reporting across social media that the eBay community forums that since new USPS rates went into effect July 13, many shipments are showing the cost would be around $4 more if they buy the label through eBay compared to other providers like Pirate Ship. So this is why I always tell people like always compare. Like there are these. It's weird because what happens is, and I've had this happen where there's a time where like eBay and Pirate Ship like they level out. They end up being the same. It ends up being the same for like several months. So you get in the habit of like, I don't need to go to Pirate Ship anymore. Like eBay's already taking care of it. But then every once in a while, you're like, you know what? I wonder what Pirate Ship is saying. And you go over to Pirate Ship and you're like, what? Oh, okay, I should have been doing this for like the last few weeks. Who knows how long this has been going on? And those of you that are brand new and you're listening to us and you're like, what is Pirate Ship? So pirateship.com is an alternative shipping website. And they have great rates. They actually they match eBay. Sometimes they are better than eBay. They really do help a lot when it comes to UPS and FedEx. They give you, I think UPS more than anything, they give you great rates. So if you haven't checked out Pirate Ship, do so. And even let's say you are just shipping for purposes outside of eBay. Like for example, this is just a side tip. Like my son might be at college and he needs something and I need to ship it out. I go to Pirate Ship. Like I use Pirate Ship for everything at my school when we ship things. Pirate Ship because it's always cheaper to ship with Pirate Ship. So just a heads up. So I don't know, Mike, have you ran into this at all?
I mean, I still feel like the eBay deal that you get is decent. I haven't even checked Pirate Ship in a while. But yeah, I mean, when you're looking at can you save $1 here or there and it adds up over time, if you're shipping out 100 items a month or more, that really can make a big difference. Now, going through Pirate Ship can take a little bit longer, right? Like you're not just printing the label straight from eBay. So you also got to consider your time. Like if it's a big item and it's Pirate Ship and I might be able to save $15 or $20 or something like that, sure, it's worth it. But if I'm sending out 10 items today, do I really want to go onto Pirate Ship for each of those 10 items, put in the information? Maybe not. So it kind of just depends. You've got to kind of do that cost benefit analysis and figure out like how much cheaper is it going to be on Pirate Ship. And again, like when you're talking like a big item or an expensive shipping item, it definitely might be worth it. But if I'm just sending something that's like $6 shipping and it might be $5.50 on Pirate Ship, I don't know if that's worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. But, again, just do your research, right? Make sure you handle it.
We have Kathleen here says, I use Pirate Ship for all my personal shipping. Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. There have been times when like we have kind of like an aunt or like a family friend that's like an aunt that's older sends us a Christmas gift and like it's like a $20-$25 gift and you could see the shipping costs that she walked into a post office or a UPS store and had the box and and it's like she paid $25 or $30 to ship it. And it's like, this would have been like $6 on Pirate Ship. And yeah, you just want to share with people, like, please stop going into the post office or stop going into like UPS store and just use Pirate Ship and make your own labels. You're going to be able to send stuff for so much cheaper.
No, agreed. So, All right, so that's all I got for reseller topics. I don't have much more for reseller topics. But hey, we already talked about our Patreon and Discord, so let's jump into our Bubba Bolos.
Yeah, let me get that. Let me get that going here.
What's your Bolo?
Yeah, BOLO. And so for those of you who might not know, which I'm sure all of you who are watching live 100% know that BOLO means be on the lookout for. But if you're new, listening on the podcast, maybe later, you find this later on, maybe you don't know what that means. So be on the lookout. So when you're at garage sales, thrift stores, Facebook Marketplace, all the places, what should you be looking for? And we share lots of things, lots of brands, specific items, maybe more broad things. So today I'm going to go a little bit more broad. Orlando, I don't see you. You don't have anything here, so hopefully I'm not stealing anything from you.
No, go for it. I'm ready.
But we've talked about this in the past, and this is one of those things that you just have to be like on it. Now, there's a lot of things where you just can't be on the news or on media and know exactly what every trend is. But like this week alone, Ozzy Osbourne passed away, and Hulk Hogan passed away today.
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan passed away today, yeah.
What?
So Ozzy Osbourne passed away. People on our Discord have been talking about having items that were Ozzy Osbourne items, and prices skyrocketed, right? Hulk Hogan passes away, same thing. Now, we are not of the belief that like, hey, we just want to like profit off people's death. There was a joke from many episodes ago where people were like, yeah, I've got like a whole bunch of Britney Spears stuff saved away because one day, you know, like it's gonna be worth a bunch of money. But there is something that happens when somebody who's famous passes away and their items become way more valuable, and it's a short window. Like Ozzy Osbourne stuff, Hulk Hogan stuff, the prices skyrocket for a time being.
You got like a day or two,
but then the prices come back down. So the point of this BOLO is, for the most part, in some ways, almost just a warning to know what you have in your store. Because if you have like two vintage t-shirts from like an Ozzy Osbourne show, or you had like a bobblehead of Ozzy Osbourne, the moment you find out about that news, you need to go in and adjust your prices. And so the BOLO isn't necessarily like, hey, now from now on, when I'm out looking for Ozzy Osbourne stuff. Now, there could be some case to be made that, hey, there's not going to be more Ozzy Osbourne tours, so now that this is more limited than it's ever been in the past. So there could be an increase in value of stuff, because it's not like Ozzy is going to have another tour, or Hulk Hogan's going to come out with new merchandise. Anything new that comes out is not going to have that same like, hey, this was from this show or this event that took place. So there is that still BOLO you could be on the lookout for. Prices will probably increase and stay at a certain steady point, but the drastic increase that happens, this is just a warning and be on the lookout for yourself of know what your own inventory is. And if you have things that aren't listed, when you get news like that, you've got to be on it. You got a very short window. I don't want to use the word capitalize because I don't want the idea to be like, hey, we're trying to make money off someone's death. But the value of it, the whole thing about reselling in general is how scarce an item is and how much does somebody want it, supply and demand, right? And when the demand shoots up, the prices have to match it, because if you're keeping your prices, well, I don't want to make money off it, so I'm going to keep this at the price it was at. Well, you're losing money because there's a good chance someone's just going to buy it at whatever you have it listed for, and then relist it for a lot more, right? So the BOLO is kind of a little bit more general of just, hey, know a little bit about what's going on in pop culture, stay on what your inventory is, and make price adjustments when you need to.
No, agreed. And, you know, people all the time will be like, oh, can't believe you guys are telling people to like sell stuff at people's death. But here's the reality. Like, people want that stuff, right? Like some people have sentimental value to it, right? So again, you're providing a service, you're providing something that somebody wants. And, you know, Juju Offbeat says Kobe stuff has not come down. You know, you're right. It's not at the peak that it was. I remember the peak, like it was wild, but yeah, it has not come down. So yeah, be aware of that. So man, Hulk Hogan died. Like, man, like I thought dude had like another 20, 30 years. Like, you just don't know sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to live long when, I mean, both of those guys were obviously incredible artists in their own field, you know. But
that was real wrestling.
But they both lived really rough lifestyles, you know, different types of rough, but both rough lifestyles, not necessarily the healthiest lifestyles. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a sad day for a lot of people, for sure. You don't want to add to that sadness to say like, hey, I had like 10 Hulk Hogan figurines listed, and I didn't realize that the prices were going to skyrocket, and I lost maybe thousands of dollars, right? So make sure that when demand goes up, that your supply prices match that.
Yeah, yeah. No, agreed. All right. Hey, my bolo is vintage like BMX or like skateboarding magazines. Now, they're not all alike, but I will tell you, a year or two ago, I bought a ton of these. Like I paid, I don't know, $20 and I got like, not a ton, I got like 30 to 40 of them. And then I picked up some more. And then it's kind of like the Sports Illustrated for kids magazines. Like those are money too, because if they have the cards and sometimes people are looking for certain players, like those are worth money. So that's my bolo. Like keep an eye for number one, look, like for example, BMX Freestyle, like people love those magazines because, it's not like you can get that stuff on the internet, right? Like it was printed. Maybe some stuff gets uploaded to the internet, but sometimes things do not. So keep an eye. There's BMX Freestyle stuff. There's skateboarding stuff. And I would say Sports Illustrated for kids because there are certain like cards that are worth good money. Like they have like Sports Illustrated for kids, like a Tiger Woods one or whatever player it is. And you can make good money. And usually you can pick them up for cheap, right? Because people don't know. Like, I mean, how many people do you know that are out there like looking for magazines, right? Because usually magazines are trash. Like Life magazine, don't pick up Life magazine. Don't pick up Time magazine. Don't pick up National Geographic. Like there's no money in those. But there are some magazines that will make you money. So that is my bolo. All right, Mike, what are you looking forward to here?
I guess I'm looking forward to dabbling a little bit more into pawn shops.
Okay.
I don't want to spend a ton of time there if it's not profitable, but you never know until you put in a little bit of time, right? I've got to check out the different ones in my area. There's some big chain ones. There's a couple of smaller ones. Check them out. And then I've got to go consistently for a few weeks, maybe like a month, like once a week for a month or two to figure out like, hey, when are things dropping? How much are things dropping? Do any of these stores have weaknesses? Maybe I could develop a relationship with somebody. But I'm looking forward to it, but if I'm being honest, I'm a little bit hesitant thinking I'm not sure it's going to be profitable, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if it is. So we will see.
Okay. So I got a lot on my plate here. So we'll start first with the easy one. I want to know if I was right about that duck decoy because I did my research, but I think I can sell it for $250 and I only picked it up for $20. Right? And it's gonna be like a litmus test. Like, does Orlando still have the chops to resell? Like, does he still have it? Right? Because I haven't sourced in a while. Like I do source, but I haven't, like, it's not like it used to be, right? Like which makes me sad, but it is what it is, right? So I'm looking forward to that. The other thing is I have all my eBay inventory not organized still. Like I when did I move up here? Like March, and it's now July. And I'm still doing the like something sells, and I'm like, I think it's in this moving box or maybe this moving box. Like it is terrible. Now, luckily, I still have good memory, and I can remember things pretty quick where I pack things. But I really am looking forward to organizing all that. I really want to get it organized before the school year takes off. Again, that's another difficult thing about reselling. Like as you scale, as you get your store bigger, like you have to be able to organize things and be ready. Because again, any minute you're losing by trying to find items is a minute that you're not listing, is a minute that you're not sourcing. So you want to be as efficient as possible. So that's on my agenda next 2 weeks. I want to make sure I take care of that. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to this haul from the school, see what I pick up. I already saw like some things that aren't school related that were there. Like you see those like foot massagers that like they vibrate a little bit and they have like bumps on them. I forget what they're called, but those go for like 100, 150, sometimes $200. Like you just never know. Yeah. So, wait, okay. What is it? First store review is Orlando definitely. Are you saying like my store should be reviewed? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like that would be, my store is good. Like I'm happy. Like I got good pictures. I got good listings. Like it's good. I will say it's a little sad because I don't have the sales I'm used to. Like if you look at the solds, it's not like back in the day where I used to have like 15 to 30 solds every day. Now it's like, handful here, sometimes 10. It depends on the week. depends how things go. But that's how it is. That's how it goes. But hey, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being on the live. Stay tuned. I do think we're going to do not small talk. What is it? Trash talk. Trash talk with Gary V. We're going to review one of those. Maybe that'll be our next themed episode. We're looking forward to doing a live call-in show. So we're going to take care of that in the next couple of weeks. Like, we still want to keep providing solid free content because all of you have been so supportive and we love what we do. So thankful for every single one of you. And with that being said, Mike, make sure to be real,
Be relevant.
and be reselling. Lates.
Peace.